Hi, Jane here from Jane Loves to Shop. Please excuse my hair. It's kind of having a moment, kind of going boing. I think everything is coming from China, so they won't be in until first week of June. So it's coming. In fact, I have a lot of things planned for June that should be fun. But having said that, I'm not doing a real big cooking show today or anything, but I called today and this whole week clean out the fridge week and clean out the freezer week, because the following week I will be grocery shopping. And I do a big grocery shop usually at the beginning of the month, and then I do another one like in the middle of the month. So I don't know what made me do it, but the last time I was at the store I bought a can of sauerkraut. And I haven't had sauerkraut in years. And my mom was German. I'm quarter German. She was half German. She cooked sauerkraut a lot. And I never asked her, oh, how do you cook it? I just thought she opened the can, put it in the pan with the pork chops or the hot dogs or whatever it was she was cooking. And it was delicious. Well, no, apparently not. So what happened was, long time ago, I was cooking for my boyfriend and I wanted to impress him. And I thought, oh, I'm going to open some sauerkraut. And I must have been cooking pork chops and potatoes like my mom did, because she would cook it all. She didn't have a crock pot. They must have had crock pots back then, but I don't think my mom ever had one. But she would just put it all in a big skillet and just cook it all with the potatoes and the sauerkraut and the pork chops. And it just came out so good. So I'm sure that's probably what I was trying to do. So when I ever tasted that sauerkraut, it was so sour and so salty. And I was like, this is horrible. I immediately called my mom and she asked me, did you rinse the sauerkraut before you cooked it? And I said, no. And she said, did you add anything to it? And I said, no. So then she told me what her little secret was. She'd rinse the sauerkraut with water to get like that salty, I guess the extra salt out. I mean, you know, sauerkraut's going to have salt in it, but it was so much better after rinsing. Then she put it in the pan and she took one apple and she skinned it. She diced it up in little pieces and she put it in with the sauerkraut. And then she took a pinch of brown sugar and she put that in also, and she let that all cook. And I have to say, it was delicious. So today, I have some hot dogs in there, and I have a can of sauerkraut. So I'm going to see if I can make it taste like my mom did. I have an apple, I've got brown sugar, so I'm ready to go. So, not a fancy meal, but we could pretend it's fancy hot dogs and fancy sauerkraut. So that's my meal for today, and I thought I'd bring you along with me. And we'll have some fun in the kitchen. Alrighty. Okay, I think it's done. Seems to be very hot and all done. So I cut the hot dogs in half so that they would cook faster. Ooh. Let's plate it up. Got some mustard and relish on my plate. You see chunks of apple in there. I think my mother cut it a little smaller than that, but that's okay. I'm gonna have a little more hot dog. Alrighty.
Don't worry about repairs. Leave our houses as is.
Alrighty, I'm gonna try it now. See how we're doing with the sauerkraut. It's good. I'm gonna say not as good as my mom's. Is anything as good as your mom makes or made? But it's good. And of course, hot dogs are all cooked. Very good. Not a fancy meal by any matter of means. No, it's not. But it's clean the refrigerator week and clean the freezer week. So, it's hot dogs and sauerkraut. Hey, so I'm back again. I ate my hot dogs and the mustard and the relish, and I had some sauerkraut. And I gotta say, I'm coming to the realization that I don't like sauerkraut anymore. Maybe I did when I was younger, or maybe I just didn't make it like my mom made it, but I think your tastes do change as we get older. But all I know is I found it rather offensive, and there's no reason for me to ever eat it again. So, I have a pot left of sauerkraut that I really don't know what I'm going to do with. I hate to waste food. So, I don't know. How do you feel about sauerkraut? You know, I think it's like liver. I love liver, by the way. But you either love it or you hate it. And I think maybe sauerkraut is the same way. Like I said, I remember liking it when I was young. I don't know. Anyway, let me know in the comments how you feel about sauerkraut and liver. And if I get enough people that like liver, you know, calf's liver with bacon and onions, oh man, it's so good. Anyway, maybe I'll make that. But I don't want to gross anybody out. If there's enough people that don't like it, I won't do it. So anywho, that was my meal fail, but the hot dogs were good. All right, well, about all I have to say, and have a good evening, have a good day, and I will see you in my next one. God bless.